On Wednesday, September the 12th, 2018, I posted Anachronism 2792. It's called I Can Be My Own BOLINAS, Part 1, Health. Walking from home to the intersection, and home is in quotes, to the intersection of Clonopin and Malice Cooper. I'm stepping over a mint green pill on the sidewalk on the way to my doctor's office, located on Cap Street, around a block from the 16th Street BART station. My appointment's with Dr. Sharon, the doctor I had for the year that ended 7 months ago, in which I was on Medi-Cal. I have visited regularly, especially since medical benefits are about the best possible thing that can come from homelessness, at least as far as I can tell. It's called Mission Neighborhood Resource Center and is a free clinic for folks such as myself, for folks who are generally free from finances, for such things as residences and medical visits. I'm on one of the 3 or 4 versions of Medi-Cal that can be assigned to folks with the freedom aforementioned here in San Francisco. Confusing, but nevertheless the absolute best part about being jobless and homeless here. Any medical issue I've encountered since being free enough to get this perquisite. The bias and condescension by many medical staff who have helped me to be on my healthy, happy way has been free as well. But these things are mostly from emergency room visits, in particular to St. Francis, a few blocks from where I lived for 16 years before being evicted from my lovely home, when I would go there for things like panic attacks or a bout of pneumonia I slammed into last October, during which time I was sunk into my shelter cot, number 13, top bunk, middle of the room that holds nearly 100 men at night, stuck for nearly 2 weeks, more like a month, barely crawling down to even eat. During that time, someone stole my wallet and my phone from the very bed in which I slept, a common occurrence, and one of a few common occurrences which have kept me from obtaining solid employment. These are things that passed swiftly and cinematically through my head as I went to my checkup. I can happily report that led to my very first dental exam and cleaning in around a decade. And along with that, reportedly, to be coming soon, my first eye exam in several years, which could mean a new pair of glasses for me. Exciting. And I have not worn, new or old, any glasses, at least with real lenses included within them, in at least a few years, which look appropriate at interviews, in my opinion, which I hope that I will be participating in again soon. I need a job search-worthy smartphone, which, thanks to many gracious folks, should be arriving in very short measure as well. I could use anything that might possibly give me a bit of added panache, because my recent experiences at trying to impress have been less than impressive, and I must impress, and intensely to impress. So it would appear that a thing such as a pair of glasses, at least in my world now, has become even more important than it used to be, at least compared with the thus far nearly 3-decade career of mine. So I shall have my eyes tested at Zuckerberg San Francisco General Medical and Trauma Center, a name which sounds nicely like home to me, even though most everyone around here still calls it simply General. Like the few holdouts who go to Pac-Bell Park to see their Giants play, a park that has been non-existent for nearly a decade now. All this is on my mind now, as on the corner of Mission and Dubose, I step over a blister-packed Klonopin, a drug I've never been prescribed. So how do I feel sure about what it is over which I step? I catch myself mumbling an answer of sorts, something about how it's simply one of those odd and mostly unnecessary things one picks up in my particular world, I suppose, during those moments when I find myself more curious than depressed or anxious. As I step over the pill, briefly considering picking it up, which I do, but then quickly trash it, I notice that across Mission at the brick and mortar, a venue at which I've seen a performance or two eons ago, with long ago friends who now only exist in my head, present day ghosts, about whom I often wonder, but from whom I never get unsolicited words. The marquee reads Malice Cooper, and it gets me to wondering what kind of performance this Malice Cooper might present to the probably now absurdly young San Francisco audience. A mix of yuppies and Alice Cooper fans seems improbable to me, and I'm quite likely incorrect about such assumptions. Is it a cover band who only performs songs originally Alice Cooper's? That's my first thought. I can't recall a single Alice Cooper song, to be honest. Would one even ring a bell? Nevertheless, Alice Cooper now for me has enlarged significance. I imagine a successful band biopic bringing them into even more of a present day relevance. Perhaps it's just how these days, for me, I go about gathering tidbits of import. From looking back at just about anything, be it supergroup, small shared moment in time that has been recorded for posterity, like a film of people dancing on a large stage, a recital, a family gathering, finding a stack of books I had read when a mere child. These are x-rays from which the past might be examined, in which tiny seeds of present predicaments might be seen, assessed, diagnosed. Maybe this Malice Cooper is in no way has any relation to its less malicious namesake. Perhaps it's a means to gather attention, to simply get anyone to show up. Maybe one or two of those who come may listen, wondering about the band's name, were fans of Alice Cooper, and yet obviously love this Malice. On the other hand, there is the possibility that fans of the band, whose first name was also the maid's name in Brady Bunch, and whose last name is the name of a currently popular actor who is enjoying heightened celebrity, starring in and directing a movie made famous by a young woman whose popularity skyrocketed during her time period, around when Alice Cooper came together for the first time and began to go about making a name for themselves. It is possible an original member might arrive at the venue this evening, order a beer while awaiting the night's performance, only to be completely mortified by what they encounter. Perhaps there will be a woman in attendance who keeps her distance from the rest of the crowd, seemingly lost, with a cocktail in her hand, whose name is Barbara Cooper, a woman who revels in sadness at local concerts of all kinds. We might imagine, as I did, the horror or sheer adventure of such a new and unexpected discovery. Or if any of the concert attendees failed to see the M in front of the rest of the headliner's name on the marquee at the brick and mortar at the northwest corner of Dubose and Mission Streets one recent afternoon, and still oblivious, immediately decides to attend, these were just a few of the things I was thinking, perhaps embellished a bit for flair, at just that one intersection during my pleasant walk to my doctor's office one morning last week, or a few months ago, as I stepped over a blister-packed, singular pill of what was, I believe, Klonopin.